In today's video, we're going to be talking about warrior tanking guide, including the mechanics of playing a warrior tank, abilities, and also rotation while playing as a warrior tank in Tarisland. Also, warrior tank is one of the tanks that can do high DPS, as you can see on your screen right here. So now let's get straight into the video. Alright, before we start with the abilities and rotation, I want you guys to first understand the mechanics of playing a warrior. Let's zoom into the middle of your screen here. We have a shield and a sword. Let's start with the sword first. The sword has like a red flame in the middle of it that will refill from bottom to top, which is a resource for warrior tank that is called AP. It will regenerate on its own, and AP will be needed to cast skill 1, 2, and 4, which I'll explain to you guys later. So when you use abilities 1, 2, and 4, you'll generate toughness. Toughness will be the blue thing in the middle of your screen that will fill up your shield. It'll fill up from bottom to top. So once you have 60 toughness, it will allow you to cast skill 3, which is sturdy barrier, which is like a force field that absorbs damage. I'll be explaining to you later on as well. So now we know the mechanic on how to play warrior tank. Let's now talk about the rotation and abilities. So your goal here is to use your AP by using skill 1, 2, or 4 to generate until 60 toughness, and then you can cast skill 3. Depending on the situation, if it's an AoE situation, you can charge in and then cast skill 4. So you'll get aggro on more than one enemies. If it's a single target, I like to start with ability 2 because it does more damage, but you can use skill 1 as well. So now let's talk about ability 1, Shield Bash. It will require 30 AP and it has a 6 seconds cooldown. It'll deal 160% damage of your attack plus 232, increasing your physical defense by 46 for 6 seconds. It'll also generate 9 toughness. For skill 2, it requires 40 AP and it has 10 seconds cooldown. It'll deal a little bit more damage, which is 219% of your attack plus 222, and granting 12 resilience in the next 8 seconds. Your glancing chance will be boosted by 18% if glancing is not triggered during this period. Glancing chance will be increased until glancing is triggered. Alright, for this skill, if you have the talent called Double Shield, your Shield Assault can now be recharged 2 times. So you can actually cast Shield Assault twice. Also, depending on the fight, if that fight requires more DPS, you can actually spam this ability. Just use both charges whenever it's available. However, when fighting a hard-hitting boss, you might consider to use this ability to maintain your resilience as well as glancing, because from the tooltip, the glancing will not stack. Alright, next let's talk about skill 4, which is Storm Trample. It's an AoE ability which costs 20 AP and it has 4 seconds cooldown. It'll stack up resilience up to 5 times, and also every time it hits a target, the cooldown will be reduced. So I'm gonna show you an AoE situation right here. You can charge in and use Trample, and then you can charge into another group and use the AoE Taunt. And then when there's another group, you can charge in and use Trample once again, just to keep the aggro on you. Alright, let's talk about ability 3, which is called the Sturdy Barrier. It requires 60 toughness and it has 4 seconds cooldown. So as I've explained earlier, it'll turn toughness into a barrier that absorbs damage equal to 12% plus 1047 of your max HP for 10 seconds. Remaining shield value will be included in a new effect when skill is recast. So when you cast this ability, you'll see that there's a white shield appearing on your health bar on top of your character there. You can use this ability whenever it's up, so to mitigate as much damage as possible. I'm just going to show you an example here of the boss using an ability where I'm not using the Sturdy Barrier. As you can see, I took around 3000 plus damage there. And with the Shield Barrier, I only took around 1000 plus, which means it cuts the damage that I take for around half, which is really awesome. Some people might want to save this ability when there's huge damage, but it's not needed because you have more tons of other defensive abilities, which we're going to be talking about it now. The first one is your skill 6, which is called Impenetrable. It has a 20 seconds cooldown. This ability will form a shield to protect you in the next 12 seconds, reducing damage taken by 25% and increasing physical defense by 271. So you want to be popping this ability when you are expecting to take a lot of damage. because combining this ability with your sturdy barrier will make your tank almost unkillable. The next big cooldown ability, which is the Inscribed Stone skill, this ability will increase the speed of gaining toughness by 6 seconds. So you're going to be expecting the blue bar to rise very quickly so you can spam that sturdy barrier skill much more often. Alright, another big cooldown ability in your arsenal is Last Stand. This one has a 90 seconds cooldown. So when you activate this ability, for the next 8 seconds, your max HP will be boosted by 29% plus 4200 more. And your HP will be instantly recovered by 21% plus 3000. Previous max HP buff still works. So you have like that healing over time happening for 8 seconds while your max HP is boosted. Definitely a good cooldown and can be used if your HP, let's say, gets too low, gets below 40 or 30%. You can pop this ability right away. Alright, let's talk about your movement abilities. You have 2 charges of dash, which will allow you to charge towards any direction for about 8 meters. So you definitely want to use this ability to get out of bad situations as well as get into that crucial moment, like to grab aggro from a group of enemies that are trying to get your healer. The next ability is Charge. This has a 20 seconds cooldown. It will charge towards the target enemy quickly and root the enemy for 0.5 seconds. So you basically have 3 charges as a warrior. That is really, really awesome. Alright, for the final ability, you have a choice whether you want Interrupt, a single target taunt, or an AoE taunt. I always like the AoE taunt, which is called the Challenge Roar. It taunts all enemies within 8 meters. The effect lasts for 6 seconds. So it's totally up to you, and depending on the fight as well, you can decide which ultimate ability that you need to use. I'll be leaving the talent build for Warrior Tank right in the description below, just in case if there's any patch or new updates, it'll be easier for it to be updated in the pinned comment right down below. Thank you so much for watching. This is Kasum, your regular adventurer. Peace out.